Welcome to the first video. My name is Karin, and I would like to thank you first of all for being here, for signing up for this one, and come on a journey with me together. First of all, make sure that you have read the introduction letter that I have sent out before this video, because it gives you an outline of what's to come, what you can expect, and what each video will bring for you. And if you have not read that one, maybe you want to pause and read that one first, because in this video I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. This first video is all about the breath, and I'm sure that you have already heard a lot about breath and how people use it as a relaxation tool in meditations, in many ways. And sometimes that comes very naturally for some of us, and it is something that we feel is beneficial right from the start. And then there are times when we feel like, yes, I can feel that, but it doesn't give me right, like what I hear other people talk about. Where does it come from? I can't find the peace through the breath. And so what this video is for is to get back to the basics. So this is really the foundation. This is from the start, from the core, and we're going to take it very easy. So this will not be a very lengthy meditation, because I want this to be more about the experience rather than the length of it. And because once you actually feel it, you will just flow with it. It will just happen gradually. But it's really important to mention here that you need to be patient with yourself and not have these expectations of what the experience should feel like, what you should feel like, what it should be or look like, because that's exactly where things get stuck. Rather, I would like you to be open to the experience itself. Just be open to see what happens. And even for myself, each time I do these things, they turn out differently. So I come here with an open heart, an open mind, and I'll go with it. And I would like you to try and do the same each time you connect with me, either through the video or when you do your work on your own. Just be open to the experience without having expectations of yourself. Be kind to yourself is what I'm saying. Be kind to yourself and accept where we are today. So before we go deeper into the breath, I'm going to start with our body. Really feel where we are right now at this moment. Hopefully you have set some time aside for yourself where you can be by yourself, where you are given the time that you deserve, the space, and the privacy. So make sure you are not going to be interrupted. Turn off your phones or anything else that might interrupt. You don't need any of that stuff at this moment. Make this completely about you. So make sure you have all of that. Maybe you need to pause the video and then come on back and we get started. So when you have all your things taken care of, you have set the time for yourself, there's nothing really that you need except yourself. There's not a certain space or a certain area. You may sit on a chair for this, or you can sit on the floor like I do. It doesn't matter. What's important is that you are comfortable where you are at. So let's begin. The purpose of this is just to really connect with our body. And I will talk about this why after we do this exercise. So go ahead and start by rubbing your hands. Go ahead and do this with me right now. And just to warm up our hands and feel the warmth and then eventually the heat of our hands, and start to really pay attention to what's going on right now when you're doing this. Pay attention to the heat And anything that's going on around you, any noise that you might feel or hear, let that be. It doesn't matter. It's okay. You don't need absolute silence for this. It's all part of it. Okay, now relax for a moment. Feel the tingling. And now take your hands and use the palm of your hand, the bottom part right here, and gently place it over your eyes. And just stay like this for a moment and observe. Observe what that feels like. Listen to what kind of things you hear at the moment. And whatever it is, let it be. We're simply here to observe and notice. Notice your breath as you rest your hands on your face. And then slowly move away from your eyes and wash your face with that energy. Just like that, circle motion gently. Okay. Start massaging your cheeks, your jawline, your nose, under your eyes. Trace your eyebrows. And underneath your eyes. Massage the side of your eyes. You can close your eyes if that feels good. I will guide you through it. And then gently, using 2 fingers, start tapping right at the start of your eyebrows, besides your nose, and just tap. And follow your eyebrows all the way to the side of your eye. Keep tapping. And complete that circle underneath, gently underneath your eyes. You can go back and forth. Good. And then we start massaging behind our ears, right there. Just the way it feels good. It's not really a right or wrong. And then your ears, rub your earlobes, come onto the side. And if you've never done these things before, this may feel a bit odd, but trust me, you'll get used to it and you're going to enjoy it. You might find yourself doing this throughout the day, just because it feels so good. Okay, coming down the neck. And just use one hand at a time and massage the back of the neck. Do the opposite side. So if I'm using my right hand, I'm going to massage the left side, just so because this part is then more relaxed if I relax this arm. So just any way you want to. Like I said, it's no right or wrong. You can either just pull it down gently, or you can do more like a kneading motion. Just see what your neck needs right now. And again, this could be different each time you do this. Do what feels good to you right now. Down to your shoulders. There you go. And really listen to your body. Pay attention. Because your body is letting you know what it needs. Now do that on the other side. Relax your other arm completely. Maybe there's even something down the shoulder blade that you might want to find a spot where you feel like, oh yeah, that's a spot. Feel a bit tense. Sometimes we don't even notice how tense we are until we start to feel it out for ourselves. And like, oh yeah, didn't realize that. Coming down to our shoulders. Okay. And then coming back. All right. Very good. Now, come on down your arms. Massage your arms. Your wrist. And again, do what feels good to you. You can follow my lead, my guidance, but you don't have to copy everything that I do. I'm doing what feels good for me right now. If I do this tomorrow, it may look different. You do what feels good to you. So if you feel like, oh, this is where I need it right now, right here, you stay there. If you feel like, oh wow, my wrist, I really feel like I need to stay with my wrist, stay with your wrist. And if I'm moving too fast, you pause the video and then we'll move on together. So make this about you. This is your experience. I'm simply guiding you along and you pause. You stay with the place whenever you need to. Make this so that you feel good. Alright, I'm moving on to my hands now, to all the way to my fingertips. Same on the other hand. Each fingertip. Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to go to my lower back here, where I can reach, wherever I can reach. Or maybe down here. So, sideways here. So I'm just going to go, again, find a spot that feels good to me. Maybe straighten your back a little bit. Again, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in a chair, maybe on the side. Find a spot and move down your back, your hips, even your bottom. Then come down your legs. You could go one leg at a time or both at the same time. Okay, coming down your legs. Be gentle around your knee. Maybe just do a simple rubbing. Okay, create a little heat here. Massage the back of the knee and coming down. And the ankles. I like to do that around the ankles as well here. Okay. The other side. And be aware of your breath as you do this. See if it changes. Really be here for your body. Sometimes we forget. We expect a lot, we forget to give back to ourselves. Our body's part of it too. Okay, your ankles. Okay. And then last but not least, your feet. Okay, so for some of you this might be totally cool. And for some, this may be the first time. And again, maybe a little odd. Give it a try. You can also keep your socks on if you prefer. But I found that massaging your feet is a very rewarding thing, and you start to, you will notice the difference, you will see. So how to massage your feet, again, follow your intuition, and you do have it. So I'm starting with the ball of my feet, just with my thumb, and then just get in there, the sole of the feet, any way that feels good to me, okay? And very important, just like on your hands, the tips, also the tips of your toes, every single toe. Yeah, you can also keep your feet like this, like that. The top of your feet too. And then again, I really like the back right here, the heel coming down, especially when you do that after a long day at work, you know, after your shower, and you do this, oh, it feels so much better after. Much more refreshed already. Okay. Come on back to your comfortable position. And now that we've just done the whole body, I just want you to go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and just feel. Feel your body. Breathe in normally, the way that it comes naturally to you. There's nothing you need to do or change. Just be here. Go inward. Feel your body. Feel your toes. Your legs. Your hips. Keep on traveling up. All the way up to where we started. The head, the face. Your hands. Try to notice if your body feels balanced, or if there's a body part that still feels like there's some tension there. And if you feel that, you may go back and tend to that, or just leave it and be okay with it. Take a deep breath in and out. Slowly open your eyes. I already feel a difference, and I hope you do too. I would like us to go now into a exercise for your breath. And it is a very simple exercise, but it is so effective. And now that we are in our relaxed mood already, our body is tended to, we can now even focus even more on our breath. Because to focus on our breath sometimes is tricky when our body is not there yet, when our body still has tension or is just not right in the right space at that time. So we tend to that already. And now I would like you to take you on a journey where you get to discover again your breath. So if you need to take some sip of water first, go ahead and do that. You can pause the video. If you need to readjust the way you sit, make this, I cannot say this enough, make this about you. Don't be fixed on what you have seen or heard or what I am doing. Make this about you. This entire journey is about you. And you can't compare yourself to how other people are doing this. And make this your thing. Feel it out. If this doesn't feel right, like, oh, I feel like I need to massage my hands a little bit more, pause the video, go ahead and do that. If you feel like I need to change my position, I want to be on a chair now, go ahead and do that. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's perfect. I want you to start to notice these things, because in our busy lifestyle, we sometimes just forget about listening to what we really need. We listen to what everybody else needs and what is expected of us, and we completely neglect, not on purpose, it just happens. It becomes routine. And when we move away, when we step away from that intuition that has always been with us, that's still here, but when we lose touch with that, that's where all the stress comes from and the overwhelming feeling. So if you start to feel things like, hey, I want to do it this way, I want to take more time on that, that is a very good sign. So go ahead and follow your intuition. So go ahead, get some water if you need to. And I wouldn't recommend to eat anything right now, because it's so much easier to pay attention to your breath and to your body on, just it doesn't have to, you don't have to be hungry. Make sure you're not hungry, but just make sure that you feel comfortable and not stuffed with food. Okay? I'll see you here when you're ready, and we're going to do some breathing together. All right, let's get ready for the breathing exercise. First, let's think about why. Why is it that people talk about the breath, and why is it so important to us? Well, to me, the breath is the very first thing in life. We are born and we take a breath. And we start to forget after that how special the breath makes us feel. It's not just to keep us alive. The breath affects our body. It affects our heart rate and everything. It helps us to live, to survive. But more than that, it gives us connection. And we'll learn more about that later. But for now, just know it can help you connect with your true self. And just think of the time when something really upsetting happened to you in your life. It's just too much. Those times when you just can't take it anymore. And you think of when you are crying. And I'm not just talking a silent crying with like tears coming down, but a real deep, sorrow comes out. Or even babies, when they have that too, you can feel that. You can feel when they cry. There's different types of crying, obviously. But I'm talking about the one that goes to your gut. You can feel the pain or frustration coming through it. And I know we have all experienced that. So think of a time what that felt like before you cried, the tension that built up to that point, and what happened after you finished crying. Mostly, we feel a little bit of a relief. The problem may not have gone, it's still here with us, but the feeling that we have connected to that issue has changed for maybe just a short moment, but in that moment it feels very different. And during the crying, what happens? Your breathing changes. It speeds up, and you inhale a lot more than you would if you were to sit here or talk. When you breathe, you automatically start to take in a lot of air and exhale the air heavily and more forcefully than if you would just sit here. And that is exactly the release the body needs. It releases in many ways, through the tears and everything, but also very important through the breath. Sometimes you see people, they cry so hard, or even babies, there's almost no sound coming out. It's just more a breathing thing. And then it releases. And the feeling right after that, it makes everything calm down. It makes everything melt for just a little bit of time. It gives you that sense of calmness. Yes, you still have the pain there, but there's just another layer with that, where you feel maybe a little bit more a support, where you feel like you can collect your thoughts, and it depends on each person and the situation for how long that might last. But the breath brings so much to us, and we can not only pay attention to the breath and be aware of it, but we can influence the way we feel by manipulating our breath. And there are so many different ways. There's breath works and so many different ways that you can explore the breath and what you can do with it. And go ahead, you can also research some more on that yourself. Or email me if you want to find out more about that. But today, I want to take you through a very simple but very effective breath exercise. And this is an exercise that is very helpful for everybody, but especially if you feel like you may not be able to sit still for very long for a meditation. If you feel you never felt like you can go really deep with meditation, it didn't last very long and you got disconnected, you felt like your mind is racing, this is a very good way to just start. And you can do this anywhere. Of course, it's best to sit somewhere where it's quiet, where you can close your eyes and connect. But for me, I can even do this with my eyes open after practicing in daily life. So for right now, since we're just starting at the basics, just do this when you are in your space and you have the privacy. But after practicing this, and this will be part of your weekly homework, I would like you to practice this every day. With time, you might see the benefit of sometimes stepping out of life and apply it. And I'll talk about that after we do the exercise. I will talk about what that would look like in everyday life. So let's first discover it here in our privacy, in our own space. And let's talk about it afterwards. How can you apply that in everyday life and when you need it the most? Because in the end, we're all here to learn how to do this, not just when it's the perfect scenario. We want to learn tools we can apply when things feel amazing and when things don't feel amazing and we really need support that comes from within. Okay? So for this exercise, I would like you to find a spot. I would recommend that you sit. Of course, if this is a problem, you can go ahead and lie down. But the reason why I say sit is because when we start to relax, it's possible that you will fall asleep. And there's nothing wrong with falling asleep. If you fall asleep, you wake up later, you can go ahead and do it again or just leave it. You will still get the benefit. But when you are more aware of things and not completely fall asleep, you're part of the experience. You're not just letting it happen. You're in the experience and you can guide it and you can actually feel the transition, what's happening to you. You can feel how you shift from the beginning to the end rather than just waking up to, oh, what happened? So I would recommend to sit at a comfortable place, maybe on a chair, on your bed, on the floor, however is good for you. You can take a sip of water if you need to. And then let's go ahead and start our breathing. This is called the 20 breaths because we're going to be basically breathing for 20 times, but in a specific way. So please take a moment, find a spot, and then we get started. All right. For this exercise, we're going to focus on an image or a feeling. It's really up to you. And before we get started, I want to explain to you what I mean, so that once we're in the experience, you can completely be in the process without having to think about each part of the meditation. So as we breathe in, I would like you to think of something that makes you feel wonderful. It could be a thought, but it could also really be a feeling, just a feeling, or you might see colors, you might see a bright light. Feel as the breath that you take inside is what you want to take inside of you. So think of pleasant things. Or if it's not a thought, for me, it's not usually a thought. It's actually an image that I see. And it really depends on the day. Okay, it could be a nature scene. It could be a place that you've visited before. Or it could be a place that you've never seen, but it makes you feel amazing. Or it could just be pure white light or any type of light that comes into your body as you breathe in. So every time you breathe in, you want to feel connected to something that gives you strength, something that gives you love, support, something that makes you feel great. And every time you breathe out, we're going to release through the soles of our feet. So every time you breathe out, it might be a thought that you want to let go. Anything that is not serving you at this time, let that go. Imagine it coming through your body, through the sole of your feet, going down into earth where it gets recycled. So that may be a thought. So if you had a bad experience about something on that day, an argument, whatever it is, let that go through your body and out through the soles of your feet. And if it is maybe just a feeling and you don't even know what it is, just let go of that feeling. Imagine your feeling and imagine it coming out of you. So it doesn't have to be a thought. It could be an image. It could be just the feeling itself. So as you breathe in, something good comes into you. And as you exhale, you let go of whatever is not serving you. And after a few breaths, maybe you have to do that until the end of it. But maybe after a few breaths, some of you may feel like it's all good. I don't have anything to let go anymore. If you feel that way, if you feel that everything that is not serving you is already let go and you are fine, then just exhale. There's nothing, you don't have to forcefully look for something that's not there. Be glad, appreciate, and be thankful for that it's gone. So if you don't feel anything, just exhale. But if you do still feel, go all the way until the end of this exercise. Breathe in, light, exhale anything that is not serving you. All right, let's get started. Find a spot and we'll start. Sit in a comfortable position. And at first you may want to leave your eyes open if you prefer, that's fine. If you want to, you can go ahead and close them now. If you want to keep them open right now, you may gaze forward at a point on the floor in front of you. So gaze down. And before we start the counting, let's just begin with the intention of our breath bringing in the goodness, the power, the love that we seek. And when we exhale, we let go of what we don't want to hold on to anymore, what is no longer serving us. So we're just gonna get the rhythm going first. There's nothing you need to do with your breath. There's nothing you need to change about your breath. You just simply breathe in and out naturally, and you just visualize your breath in and letting go of something you don't want to hold on to anymore as you exhale. So just stay with that for a moment. With your next exhale, if you haven't closed your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes now. And for the first 3 breaths, we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. I'm going to keep count for you. But remember, it is simply a guideline. If your breath is not the same tempo as mine, that is fine. And later, as you do this on your own, you go at any pace that fits right to you. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, let something go. 3. Keep breathing in. This time as you exhale, exhale through your nose. So only in and out through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Bring light to you. Exhale, let it go. 5. Inhale. Exhale. 6. In. Out. 7. Keep going. In. Out. 8. In. Out. 9. Do the next one on your own. 10. Count backwards now, and you do the same thing. Inhale through your nose. Release through your nose. 10. In. Out. 9. In. Out. 8. Keep going by yourself. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale and exhale, though it was good. No need to count. I want you to focus your attention on your heart, the center of your chest. And you may want to bring both of your hands over the center of your chest. Bring your attention to your heart as you breathe in and out at your natural pace. Visualize your heart soaking up all the light and the love that is surrounding you. Visualize your heart like a plant, a green plant. As you breathe in, it opens up. It spreads out its leaves, soaking up the sunshine, and as you exhale, bring it back into the center of your chest. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, bring the light into your heart. Stay with this for a moment. When you feel ready, bring down your hands. Breathe in and feel your body. Maybe move a little bit in your body, side to side, wiggle your toes. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. Observe how you feel. Maybe you need to take a moment, pause the video, then we're going to come back and reflect and also see how we can apply this exercise into daily life. I hope you feel refreshed. I certainly do. I hope you feel relaxed. And now I want to take a moment and let's talk about how you can take this into your daily practice. Okay. Well, first of all, your homework, your assignment for this week is to do this exercise every day for the entire week. Find a moment, find a time in your day where you get to do this by yourself. It doesn't have to be the specific time of the day. It's just whenever it is good for you, when you have carved out some time for yourself. I really mean that. You may have to just really carve out some time. I know life can get hectic and busy, but that is exactly why we do this. So that we, in all the things that are happening and in all the busy things in our lives, that we can still function and not just survive, but actually thrive. In all the busyness around us, we can still be centered and not just live from day to day and get through it, but actually thrive and enjoy it and be the best version of ourselves. And the only way we can do that is by taking time for ourselves. It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to be even an hour. It could be a couple of minutes, 10 minutes. Ideally, you can stretch out more than that, but this is enough. This is enough. It is not the time, how many minutes. It is how intentional and how the quality is more important is what I'm saying. Like, are you really in it? If you're in it and you can completely drop into the experience, let yourself be in the experience, then 5-10 minutes is all you need, like a big power nap. But on the other hand, you could take an hour sitting there and in the back of your mind constantly think about all the things you still need to do, all the things that are waiting for you right after this, and it will be less productive than taking 10 minutes that are really for you. So please take this to heart, that it's not the length only, it is the quality. So when you do it, make sure it is a time when you can really take it for yourself and everything else has to step aside. So if you can do that maybe in the morning, then go ahead. But if the list of the to-do things is too big and it's too much for you to actually push aside for a moment, then maybe it has to be at the end of the day when your to-do list is basically done and you feel a little bit more free to breathe and to be yourself. So you know yourself best, and you may want to experiment with things. You may want to try out different things and see what works for you. And not every day again is the same. For me, I like to do this in the morning. I actually made a habit a long time ago. I have kids myself, so I know what it feels like. I know what it is to get up and you start to be in routine mode. You get things done, get breakfast, to get dressed, to get out of the house, to work, to school. I understand that. So what I did is I get up a lot earlier before everybody else is up. And that is my time. And I feel completely relaxed because I know I have the time, and everything that I need to do, it will have time later, but this is my time. I prefer it than at night, because by the time I get home and everything is done, I'm sometimes too tired, and by the time I get really relaxed, I might just fall asleep. So my time is in the morning, and my compromise, which sometimes you just have to do, is to go to bed earlier. So I go to bed earlier so that I may get up early as well. But you do what is right for you, and you have to try maybe different things. So this week, make sure you take the time and do this every day. And you may want to write down like a journal. Keep a journal. During this time, I think it's very good during this whole course, keep a journal. Write down what's happening, because it will be very interesting to see after a few days, a few weeks, to reflect back and see, oh, I didn't even realize this is where I started, and now I'm here. So please make sure you take some time to write. It doesn't have to be long. Just jot down a few thoughts or feelings that you experienced during this time. So now, how do you apply this? So that's great. I carved out my time. I'm doing this. But what do I mean when I say throughout the day? So when I start my day like this, I already feel centered. So for the most part, I'm already okay. But of course, life happens. Things occur, and something can trigger you throughout your day. And what I've found is that it is really, for me, beneficial to, if I have a chance to just step out for a moment, if I get that opportunity, if I have the privilege to just get out for a moment, I'll go and step out of the situation before I react, which is usually what I regret later on. Before I react, I stop myself and say, okay, let's do my 20 breaths. I find a place where I can do that. Anywhere. It can be outside, you can step out of the house for a moment. Even if you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Anywhere. Just a moment to yourself and simply breathe. And you don't need me to guide you through it. Once you have done this a few times, you know how to do it. Count up to 10 and then backwards. You inhale all the things you want to feel. And you let go of your stuff you don't want to hang on to any longer. Let it go. And the last part, which is very, very important, is to breathe. I want to say breathe with your heart. And what I mean is, like, I really do visualize it like a plant. So I'm not thinking of the physical heart, but like the heart center right here. And I'm seeing like a plant, but you can visualize your own way. But for me, it's like this motion of breathing in and out and bring it back in. Breathing in and bring it back to me. And I visualize that, and it helps me when I put my hand here. So really focus on the heart. Because what you're doing is you take your attention from your head back down into your heart. And when you do that, when you start the first 3 breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, let go. And then continue in and out through your nose, you should feel a lot better. And I found that I make better decisions afterward, better choices afterwards, and I can look at things a little differently. And I never regret to take that time. And it doesn't have to be as long as I just did. But after I took that time, I feel like, oh, I respond completely different than I would have before I did that. I may prevent someone from getting hurt, because if I just react, it may hurt someone's feelings. And mine too in the end. So try that out. See if you can sometimes just step out of yourself. And as you start to get a little bit more experienced with this and you try it out, you can actually do this with your eyes open too. You don't have to drop into deep meditation all the time. Meditation is meant to be used all the time. Every moment of your life is meditation. It just means to be aware of yourself, of your surrounding, and make conscious choices. And so when I do it with open eyes, what I mean is I breathe in and out, and I'm picturing it with my eyes open. I can breathe in, and I can breathe out. And I can let something go through the sole of my feet. I can listen to someone as they talk to me, and I can do this. I can still hear them. I can still listen. But I am now centered. And I'm now at a place where I don't need to keep everything that maybe someone is throwing at me. I can let that go. And at the same time, by doing this, by staying peaceful inside, the other person can actually pick up on that. And you will be surprised how sometimes other people pick up on that and they start to change too. All of a sudden, where you maybe had an argument, it starts to settle down and you didn't even speak a word. You simply listened and did your breathing. You don't have to go down on crisscross and start to meditate. You simply listen and you breathe out. That may not happen every single time, but it is worth a try. And I've tried it many times, and I'm always so pleasantly surprised how the reaction changes first within me, and as I change, the people around me change too. So sometimes it's good to realize that we don't need to run around and change people. We take care of ourselves. We make sure we have what we need, self-care. And when we have that, we're there for others because we are now at a space where we feel good. It's like an airplane when you take the oxygen for yourself first before you can attend to others. This is not a selfish move. This is so that everyone can survive. And then you can be your best self and be there for others. First, be there for yourself. So I hope you can see how you can apply this. And it, like I said, it's a step-by-step thing. First, start for yourself in your private space, only by yourself, once a day. And then maybe in the future, not in this week, in the future down the road, maybe you want to see if you want to try throughout the day, stepping out of situations. Or even this week, you can step out somewhere and just take your 20 breaths. Or maybe further along, you might want to see if you could just breathe with your eyes open and see if that makes a difference. So try it out. Use this week as an experiment. Try it out, journal, write things down. And I would love to hear some of your feedback. So if you have something you want to share with me, that's something you want to ask, please go ahead and email me. I gladly read all of your things and try to respond to you as soon as I get a chance to do that too. So I really hope this helped you. You can go back to this section all the time if you want to do this every day with me, or you can do this on your own now that you know how to do it. All right, thank you so much for joining me in this video. Go ahead, try out all the things we've talked about this week. Take some time for yourself, and I'm looking forward to our next session next week in our second video. Go ahead, journal your things, do your homework, do your 20 breaths, and I'm so excited that you're here with me on this journey. I thank you with all my heart, and I can't wait for you to come back week 2 with our next video together. All the best. Bye.